Hi, hello everyone, and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to just give you a little bit of background about myself and how I get to be doing this work and introducing you to this 8-week program, this 8-week course. I'm really happy and excited that you're on this journey with me, and I deeply, deeply appreciate you. I am a coach, a healer, a psychic. I'm a mother. I'm a single mother, a solo mother. I'm a friend. I wear lots of different hats. And I started my entrepreneurial journey as a property investor. And I grew a large business to a multi-million pound property portfolio. What happened was I was living in the tropics in India, and my life looked idyllic from the outside. I had a driver, a chef, a nanny, a maid. I lived in a big house, and we didn't really want for anything. Unfortunately, my life looked so cool and so good from the outside. It just wasn't what was going on the inside. On the inside, I felt worthless, of no value. I was always second-guessing myself. I was always wondering what people thought about me. I didn't really know who I was. I had worn so many different hats all throughout my life. I had wanted to be approved of feeling significant, of just fitting in with the crowd. And I used to fold myself up into so many small little pieces that I didn't want to take up any space. I didn't know how to take up space, and I was apologizing on the inside for being me. Now, how did that play out on the outside? Well, I was super angry. I used to numb out all the time with drugs and alcohol, and food played an important part in that numbing of those emotions. And I just wasn't really present with my relationships. I used to disassociate with the relationships quite a lot. And quite frankly, I was so down on myself that I didn't want to live. I didn't want to continue on this path of being who I was. And one day, my ex-husband and I were driving across the Panjim Bridge in Goa, and he had not been very nice to me at all. He was being emotionally abusive and making me feel even more of little value than I already was. And I thought it would be so easy to just wind down the window and launch myself out the window into the river below. Obviously, that didn't happen. What did happen was I saw a psychiatrist, and he put me on lithium. He told me that I had bipolar. Now, that was the wrong diagnosis. Perhaps I hadn't even told him that I was adopted. I don't really recall. I know that my ex-husband, he came to one of the meetings with the psychiatrist, and he just said that I should just get on with it, just get on with life. I was on lithium for, well, it took me longer to get off the lithium than I had been on it. So that wasn't the right diagnosis. But then over the next few months, I realised that my ex-husband was making me quite ill. It was just compounding all the heartache, all the trauma that I had experienced being adopted. So we separated, we went our separate ways. And I would like to say that was the beginning of of the new me, but it wasn't. I hit the bottle. Not only had we separated, I lost my business, my home, and my marriage in a very short space of time, because I'd had funding with an Icelandic bank. If you recall back to 2008 credit crunch, I lost my business and went from £4 million of property to £400,000 of debt. I lost my home in the UK, and me and the children were living in a really, well, we downsized. It wasn't small, but the house looked like a furniture shop. There was just so much furniture everywhere. Meanwhile, my ex-husband flew into the sunset, and I still wasn't present with my children, and I was drinking ridiculous amounts. Until one day I woke up and I realised I don't want to do this anymore. I want to be an inspiration to my children. That was my big why of getting out of that rut that I'd got myself into. So I went about cleaning myself up. That was cleaning up the drugs and alcohol, cleaning up my food, cleaning my furniture shop, my house that looked like a furniture shop. So getting rid of just stuff that didn't serve me. And once I had cleared my external environment, I realised that I could do that on the inside. So I looked at my food choices. I did lots of colon cleansing. I studied naturopathy. I studied so many different things to better myself, to get out of this feelings of inadequacy, being a not, feeling I wanted to be a better parent. But still, I was carrying my head around with me of not being good enough, of not being capable, of not belonging, of not fitting in, not being significant. And so over the years, I've realised that actually what was holding me back was my identity of who am I really? And as much as in those early days, I was creating a life that I wanted, a life that I was desiring, a life that was on my terms. Because, I'd got into the property world because I wanted to be significant. I wanted to show that actually I could be somebody. I wanted my parents' approval. But this time I was doing it just for me, just to be an inspiration to my children and ultimately be an inspiration to myself. How can I be better today than I was yesterday? How can I let go of the past and create my future? So this program and course that you're going to go through is about releasing the emotions and the traumas attached to being adopted. Now, you don't have to have have had a really great adoption, and you don't have to have had a really bad adoption to get value from this course. Because by finding your identity and letting go of the things that aren't serving you, the hats that you've put on, you can start finding the real you. Because who are you really? We all wear the name, or have the name that we've been given. My name has been changed at birth. When I was adopted, it was changed. When I got divorced, it was changed. But that's only part of us, isn't it? What's underneath the name? And so that is my hope for you over the next 8 weeks, to let go of or understand, not let go, because they'll always be with us, but to have a lesser of a sensation, lesser of a trigger, less of an attachment to the unconscious memories of the 7 core adoption wounds. So that's a little bit more about me. I hope you have an understanding of who I am, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.